Hi guys, and many thanks for joining me. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Kat and I like to talk about true crime, conspiracy and all sorts of related things. I am so excited to be back and Happy New Year to everyone. As you can tell if you are watching my videos, this is not my usual setup. I haven't got to setting up the studio yet, so I just wanted to get a video out there. And in today's video I want to talk to you about Orrin and Orson West disappearance. But before we get started, please don't forget, if you are new here, to press that big red subscribe button below and also make sure you hit the notification bell so you are the first one to know about any new videos I upload. And before we get started, here is the disclaimer. I do not mean to be disrespectful to anyone I talk about in today's video. The video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. The information I collect is from the internet. I compile this information together and make a video. And from this, you guys are more than welcome to draw your own conclusions. Thank you. So, let's get on with it. 3-year-old Orson West and 4-year-old Orrin West are brothers who live in Cal City, California, and they were reported missing on Monday, 21st of December 2020 by their adoptive parents, Trezell West and Jacqueline West. A search for the missing boys quickly began, but without any results. Police and the FBI got involved and even canine dogs were also brought in. Authorities searched the house and dug up the backyard. The dogs picked up the scent of Orrin and Orson, but only in the house. However, they never picked any scent of the boys from the backyard or outside around the house. AV news crew, along with so many other YouTubers, are following this case and have done so from the very beginning. They have invaluable resources, photos, footage, interviews, and so on. I will be referring to some of them in this video and also linking them in the description below. So if you guys want any other details which I still don't have, please don't forget to check them out as well. At this point, I think everybody is trying to find out what happened with Orson and Orrin West. After a search warrant was served, this photo, which is now on your screen, shows bags full of evidence being carried out of the property. So potential evidence was found and collected by the police. The white van was also seized along with all the tech belonging to Trezell and Jacqueline West. I assume mobile phones and potentially any computers or laptops they might have had. And I also think that, a lot of people have been saying that why don't we know any more information, why there is no updates about it. And I really think that the reason we are not hearing much is because the investigation is open and ongoing, and the police is perhaps holding whatever evidence they have close to their chest so it wouldn't tip off any potential suspects. Now, mentioning this tech, I find it really bizarre that the adoptive parents didn't have photos of Orrin and Orson. The pixelated photo was produced hours after being requested by the police. I honestly do not understand at all. Where are the photos of these boys in a Halloween costume, for example? Or the kids doing some silly funny things around the house? Or, playing outside? Anything really, just like any other parent would have. Your kid trips over, a toy, and he falls on his belly and you just want to capture the moment because it's so funny. All these little things, which makes it even more weird, really. But in this case, there's nothing at all. As new footage from a nearby neighbor was obtained, it became clear that Trezell and Jacqueline's version of events did not align with what was on that camera, on the footage. And the footage is playing now. This one is from the YouTube creator Slim Hoffa. I will also leave the link for the video in the description below. So if you guys want to watch the full-length video, please make sure you check out the description below.
You'll see him come out. I'm coming out in a second now. Okay, so what we're looking at, guys, is here. See that van? So he's gonna be coming outside any moment now to make to call.
Well, he's gonna look for his kids apparently, but you're gonna see how he does it and what he does. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There you go. So the light came on. You see it?
Which in the front?
Yeah, the front little light. He opened this front side door. You see the door open?
Okay, the door's open to the van. Yep.
Yeah, you see it?
Yep.
So he's gonna hop in his van right now.
Hey, can you guys see this video? Hit 1 if you can see it pretty good.
Okay, so he turns his van on, bro.
Okay.
So apparently he's looking for his kid, but it takes him about a minute just to sit in his van and turn his car on. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And he didn't even look in the front yard, nowhere on the sides. You seen it?
Nothing.
He didn't come up the street. So he hops in his van.
Look
I
at.
don't think he's going in a speed where you're searching for somebody. You're going pretty fast. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
already
yeah.
made that turn right there. You're not looking for nobody. You know what I mean?
Okay, where's
So
he going?
He makes that turn, right?
That right here by his
Yeah,
house.
so, you
Okay.
gotta figure your kids are missing. You don't know which direction they went.
So, in the footage, you see Trezell driving off in the van to look for his kids, apparently, as it seems. I mean, I'm asking you, is this the speed someone would be driving around looking for the missing kids, really? Wouldn't you, I don't know, drive slow as a snail, hoping to see them at any turn, really? Let's also remember, it is dark outside, there's barely any lighting in the surrounding areas. Better yet, if you look for your kids, do you really just drive off without checking the surrounding areas first? The areas around the house before you just drive off? Also, are you really that lazy that you can't walk to look for your kids? I mean, in a situation like this, you would just be running like a headless chicken. Your adrenaline would be sky high. So who the hell even needs a van? Seriously. I mean, this of course is my opinion. And you know what's worse? The worst thing is neighbors report never having seen the boys ever since the family moved to Cal City from Bakersfield in September 2020. Even more so, there's no witness who can actually verify Orrin and Orson West have ever hopped in that van from Bakersfield and moved to Cal City with the rest of the family. But let's talk a bit about Orrin and Orson West. Previously named Classic and Sincere by their biological mother Ryan Dean, have been fostered in 2018 and then adopted in 2019 by Trezell and Jacqueline West. They have 2 more adoptive children and 2 biological children. Orrin and Orson are the youngest of the siblings. We don't know the age of the rest of the children due to privacy laws concerning adoptive children and also underage children. Before moving to Cal City, the family lived in Bakersfield in an apartment. Bakersfield is 68 miles, around 1 hour and 13 minutes drive from Cal City. Apparently, their decision to move to Cal City was for the children to have a backyard, obviously to play around, and also for a bigger space really. But even on this, I really do have my own theories and opinions, so please stay with me on this. I'm really trying to catch up on this case. I knew about it since it happened, but unfortunately due to my own moving situation, I couldn't really dig into it. Now, the situation with Ryan, the biological mother, is a bit unclear if I'm honest. There are various sources, but with contradicting information out there. It seems Orrin and Orson have different fathers, and it also seems that Ryan was trying to raise them on her own. She worked a job, and one day she got home and the kids were being picked up by social services, removed from her care. According to Ryan, the kids were removed because she was found to be using drugs. She claims, however, she was using medical marijuana for which she did have a medical note from her own doctor. So, after the kids were taken away, she was trying desperately to take them back, even presenting the medical note to the judge handling the case. but he wouldn't budge. He didn't really take any note into consideration. Allegedly, he even told her, you have to do better than this. So, the kids were then placed into foster care, then adopted and going to Trezell and Jacqueline. Again, according to Ryan, she had no idea the kids were adopted until the second day of their disappearance, when she heard on the news they have been adopted. In an interview with the biological mother from 23 ABC, she mentions she didn't know the adoptive parents, but that she previously visited the kids. So, honestly, I'm not quite sure what kind of arrangement they had. It seems although Orrin and Orson were adopted, Ryan could still see them. And here is the interview from MTGV TV YouTube channel.
It's something, they're not...
Do you have a relationship with these parents?
I don't know them. I don't know them. And I know I told them my last visit, when the visit prior to that, I said, when these kids used to be with her, they were fatter. My kids are skinny. They used to cry when they picked them up, like at the end of the visit. They weren't dressing them, they weren't cutting their hair when I still had rights, so I asked them, can they cut their hair? Their hair wasn't being cut. I know my kids, and they was not happy with them. I felt it at visits. I told them.
So you've been visiting the family?
No, my kids at visits, they were with her, but they switched it to them, and they didn't even barely want to talk to me at visits. They didn't really want to let me. I'm like, can I please just, I'm not a bad mother. It was a mishap of what happened. Can y'all just let me still be in their life? They denied Christmas gifts and everything from me and my mother.
They were adopted in 2019, right? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't know anything after the last court date. I didn't know anything.
Ryan, going back to your interaction with the foster parents, anyone looking at you could tell you're clearly devastated. When they're telling you this, what kind of sense did you get? Any emotion on their end?
On her, she's too nonchalant, and on him, he's trying to plead to me and say sorry, but I just feel safe.
And you saw the police cars out here investigating.
Yes, I saw that through the AV news yesterday.
It goes to say that a mother has the best intuition of her kids. What do you think happened?
They did something. I feel like they did something, and they know something. They did something, and I feel my kids is somewhere around here. I can feel it, and I feel like they're in the house, and I feel like they did something. I really do.
Again, I'm leaving the link for this video in the description, so if you want to check it out again, please use the link in the description and head over to that channel. So, the $1,000,000 question. What exactly happened on 21st of December? I will now be referring to the very first interview with the adoptive parents taken by 23 ABC. Trezell said that evening at around 5 p.m. the boys were playing on their back porch. He says Jacqueline was inside wrapping presents while he went out the back gate to gather wood for a fire. When he returned, the pair had vanished. They searched inside the house and around the backyard. He then drove around the neighborhood calling their names and talking to neighbors. Now, this is getting interesting. I have so many things to say about this interview that I will actually make a separate video analyzing the entire interview. But for now, just a few points. Coffee break. Yeah, in this giant mug I have coffee. The wonders of coffee. So, from the start to the end of the interview, which was approximately 15 minutes long, Trezell is always holding his hands under his armpits, as if hugging himself. I also think that he does it to hide gestures and to control himself. This is This is really reminding me so much of Chris Watts and his first interview. He was a nervous wreck. He was panicking and hugging himself, always swaying from side to side. It was clear from the get-go that Chris Watts was lying. Now, going back to Orrin and Orson. On the other hand, we have Jacqueline West, constantly swaying throughout the interview, which shows that she is nervous. Trezell repeating what Jacqueline says, Jacqueline affirming what Trezell says by shaking her head, which can mean that she's confirming that his story is true. And when he says a mistake, she corrects him, which again leads me to believe they are both working from a rehearsed script. And when one or the other is digressing from the story, the other one always jumps in to correct, which again goes to show they are definitely, in my opinion, working from a script. When Trezell stutters or forgets what he needs to say, Jacqueline is giving him cues. His vocabulary as well says a lot, that he is lying and he tries to cover up something. I am led to believe that something happened with the two boys in the other location. Hence, they try to give false leads to the present location. And here, I want to quote, "They are here," from their interview. There's just too much emphasis put on this particular location. So, I assume in their story, Trezell and Jacqueline need to make sure people buy it. And also, the police force and the investigators focus their search around only that area. I also think something happened with Orrin and Orson in Bakersfield, California, and it wasn't an accident in my opinion. One child, you can understand, it was an accident, right? But two, that's something different right there. I also believed they moved from that location to lose the trail of what happened with the boys. As far as I understand, when you move from one location to another with adopted children or even with your own children, social services find it very difficult to track as you've moved to a different location. I'm quite sure they must know this because they have 4 adopted children, so they must know the procedures already. But why now? Why did they report the children missing just before Christmas? So, according to Trezell's interview, all children went to their grandparents for the holidays and only Orrin and Orson stayed with them because they were the youngest. The way I see it, however, it's completely different. I think the grandparents or relatives must have asked to see the boys over the holidays. So, Trezell and Jacqueline had to come up with the missing children story, right? Otherwise, how would they explain them not being there? And also, this can be one of the many reasons the other children were sent away, to keep them away from the public eye, from the media, considering they are older and they might know something. Then, I also see another possibility. This is pure speculation. It's pure speculation. I haven't read this anywhere. It's just what I'm thinking. You know, you think 10,000 things, and I just thought it's worth mentioning. It might be that their 2 biological children might have mistakenly done something in a playful way which put Orrin and Orson in danger, to the point of causing or aiding in their accidental death. Emphasizing this would be their 2 biological children, they would obviously want to protect them at all costs. I am not trying to blame the children for this situation, don't get me the wrong way. All I'm trying to say is that accidents happen when more children play together. For example, let's say kids play at the top of the stairs, right? And one of them pushes the other on the stairs. Then they roll down the stairs, they bang their head in some corner or a sharp edge or a wall, I don't know, whatever, and they have an accident. They can sadly pass away as they would be fragile, being only 3 or 4 years old. Okay, oh my God. So, moving on to what Trezell said in his interview. If it was so cold outside that he had to go and get the firewood, oh my God, Why would they send 3 and 4-year-old children outside in the cold, in the dark, to play with chalk on the patio? I really don't buy the excuse that Jacqueline was wrapping Christmas presents and she didn't want them to see. And I'll tell you why. Because I am a mother as well, okay? I have kids. I am a parent. I wrap Christmas gifts for my kids every single year, and I never once sent my little one, who is only 4 years old, outside in the cold or dark to wrap the Christmas gifts. This is bullshit. First of all, he sees the gift today, in 2 or 3 or 4 days, he won't even remember it was the same he saw me wrapping, okay? Then, why not wrap Christmas gifts in another room or somewhere else where nobody can see you? You know, lock yourself in the bathroom, go up in the loft, in a shed, in the garage. You should just go out in the cold to wrap the gifts, for God's sake. Just wait for them to go to sleep and then wrap the gifts. At 3 o'clock in the morning you could see me wrapping the gifts whilst the kids were asleep. For God's sake, this is just ridiculous. Then, there's another thing. Where is the bloody firewood? You tell me, where is that firewood? I can't see any trees there, enough trees to make a fire. I'm not from the area, of course, but all I can see from the satellite view, the place is deserted, okay? There's barely any trees around. No woods, it's just bloody sand there. Just sand, which brings me to my next point. If you have a look at the area, can you please tell me where exactly those 2 boys disappeared to? Where? There's barely any houses around. A lot of empty plots. It's an open field, it's dark. Then one of the boys had a fractured leg. So you tell me, how can those 2 boys run, one with a fractured leg, but also be so silent that Giselle doesn't hear or even sees them? This is just ridiculous. And because I want to prove my point, I will now refer to a video from Nor Jasmine YouTube channel. She went to the exact house Orrin and Orson allegedly disappeared from. And I want you to pay attention to the noise that she's making when she's stepping, when she's walking. I know that she's an adult and it would sound louder than toddlers, but you know, just as a reference. Now, here is the video.
This is the lot. It's like a public empty lot near the house. And this is where the infamous gate where the kids supposedly went missing. That's the gate right there.
You can check out the video, I'll leave the link for it in the description below as well. Okay, so, having seen the video, what do you think the odds are of the kids walking around without being heard? Or are toddlers so silent? Really? Aren't they like, you know, shouting, screaming, playing, you know, doing all sorts of things and so on? So, Giselle says that in a matter of minutes they were there in the backyard playing with chalk on the patio, then they just vanished. So, did the spaceship take them? Where did they go? How can a 3 and 4-year-old run so quick, maybe let's say, I don't know, 60 miles per hour, to make it so fast and so silent and just vanish into thin air? I need to calm down here. Their whole story is crap. I don't buy anything whatsoever. Not a single word. So, after having said that, how idiotic does everything sound really? You tell me, please. Then we also have the matter of the canine dogs, which picked up their scent in the house but not outside. That can only mean one thing. Those children have never been outside. And I think they were never inside either. And probably the dogs picked their scent from the clothes or belongings they might have had in the house. Unless, I don't know, is there a basement there? Or perhaps they had some renovations in the house or something like that. Did the police look for this kind of clues? Or maybe they know something, but they are not revealing these things since the investigation is still open and ongoing. I mean, the police did collect a lot of bags of evidence from the property and also from the backyard, but we don't know what they have on hand really. Also, by looking at photos, so I haven't seen any chalk on the patio or anywhere else. So where were the two boys playing with chalk then? Where is that chalk scribbling Trezel said about? We know how much toddlers love to scribble everywhere. I mean, you should probably ask my husband. He scrubbed and repaired the walls. Then how do you even keep two toddlers outside in one tight space, on the patio only? Do you really think they would stay in one place? No, they wouldn't. They would just run everywhere in that backyard. Come on, people, let's be serious. This is the real world, it's not a fantasy. It seems to me like those two people, Trezel and Jacqueline, have watched too many, criminal law stuff movies. I don't know. Another point is, I do have my own theory about the knife found in the gift bag. I think that this gift bag with the knife in it was placed there on purpose. Why I'm saying this is, I think that, well, in my opinion, Trezel and Jacqueline, or Trezel or Jacqueline, placed that bag there on purpose to distract from the real deal. Maybe they thought the police will take this evidence as a potential murder weapon and they will waste their time pursuing false leads. It is a possibility, if I'm honest. Okay, so now I want to talk to you about the house in Cal City and how they came about owning it. There's another YouTube creator with a channel named 10 to Life, and she's done an amazing job in calling people, following leads, pursuing different avenues to get as much info as possible. I will link her channel in the description below so you can check that out as well. And I also found some really interesting things. I'm not sure if you've heard this before. It seems Trezel and Jacqueline were looking to buy a larger house with a backyard to move from the 2-bedroom apartment in Bakersfield. And so they found this house in Cal City, a 3-bedroom house. The deal was supposed to be done in a few weeks, but for income issues it took around 4 months. Now, in these 4 months, Trezel became really friendly with the estate agent or realtor. They started talking over the phone, meeting in person, in the estate agent's office quite often. They would be talking over the phone daily. They got really close. There was no intimate relationship here, so please don't think about that. It was just friendship. Let's just say the estate agent felt sorry the deal takes that long, right? The conversation started getting personal. So Trezel would know about the realtor that she's a holistic person, then he would say he's the same, and so many other things. It seems Trezel was shaping himself around how the estate agent was. So whatever she liked, he liked. And I think that he only did this to please her and possibly to get under her skin. For a living, Trezel seemed to be selling beads he created. He would sell enough to make around $10,000 per year. Jacqueline, on the other hand, didn't work. She was looking after all the children, and the couple's main income, and the most important, would be from fostering, adopting. When they bought the house in Cal City, all the money went on it, so they were both left without any money at all to make the actual move. You know how much money you need to spend, and you know how much time it takes, and taking a van and moving the stuff about, and then there are so many things involved here. I just did a move myself from one rented place to another, so it was just crazy. The realtor, according to herself, loaned Trezel $5,000 to help with the move. He turned by the office on the day of the move with a van, his wife and the kids. The kids were in the back of the van. So, the estate agent really wanted to meet the family, having spoken about them so often. She greeted the wife and she peeped in the back of the van. She said She saw kids there, but it was dark, so she couldn't really make out how many of them were in the back of the van. Annie Elise from 10 to Life YouTube channel spoke to the lady on the phone, and at one point she mentioned the 6 kids. This is the part which is really weird. The estate agent was gobsmacked when Annie told her Trizell had 6 kids. The lady said he never once mentioned to her having 6 kids, but only 4. And she was adamant he only mentioned having 4 children. So, there you go. According to the estate agent, in his own words, Trizell has only 4 kids. Trizell also mentioned to the estate agent he wants to move off the grid. How convenient, right? This is again another red flag, a major red flag. I will also leave the link in the description below to a live video Annie has on her channel, where you can find home inspection reports with photos before the house was sold to Trizell and some other interesting info, including that fireplace. Now, I want to talk to you about my opinions and theories on this case. But first, it's time for another coffee break. I am a coffee addict. Oh my god. I can drink like 6 or 8 in a day. Very bad. So, the most obvious one is, I don't believe at all Orrin and Orson were ever in the house at Cal City. I think they were gone way before they made the move. I think that they made the move for this exact reason. Let's say they did something to the kids, right? So they move out of the area to lose the trail. If we look at the map of the surrounding area in Bakersfield apartment, there are at least 2 recycling centers and landfills. This could potentially have evidence disposed of, or worst case scenario, you know what I mean, the deceased bodies of the boys. Peaks, literally deserted. These are all potential hiding spots or disposing of sites. And I would really love for someone local to use a drone to scan those areas, because I really do have a feeling Orrin and Orson are somewhere there in those areas. It's all completely open. If we are to compare this case to anything similar to Chris Watts, I believe they would dispose of the bodies in familiar places, where they would think no one will figure out to check. Video I found from a YouTuber who went to what seems like a dumping site in Bakersfield, or maybe an empty patch of land with waste on, and I want you to have a look at the footage. This is from Community's Hand in Hand YouTube channel. I'll also leave the link in the description below, so if you want to check the full video, you can do so by following it in the description below.
Couple miles down from the adopted parents' apartment complex is this big park. I'm out of breath, sorry guys. I had to walk, there's my car, all the way down there. I walked all the way over here. I noticed a field over here, it's a lot of trash. I just hiked down up in here. There's a lot of trash out here. I wish I had a drone to fly it out here, but down in there. That's the hill I went down. I'm not prepared how to hike back up this thing. But all the way over there, I don't know if you guys can see that discolored. Looks like a bunch of stuff was burnt out here. I don't know if it's recent or not. If you look right there, there's a way to get down here with a vehicle. I'm not sure if this area has been searched or not. It looks like something big over there that can be searched. Just this whole area, guys, it's so trashy. There's stuff under all these tumbleweeds. It's a pretty big area, and this is right off the park, about maybe a mile, if that, from the adopted parents' previous apartment complex on Lotus Lane here in Bakersfield. It's just loaded with trash. I wasn't prepared to come out here, so I didn't bring a stick or anything to move anything around with. I was hoping to find some names. Here's some mail. Hold on, guys. Here's a piece of mail. Let me see if I could get the name off of it without touching it.
It's very interesting, and I would really love to know if the police is considering searching this area as well. I know they have started investigating Bakersfield and interviewing neighbors and so on, but we really do need something concrete from the police, just for peace of mind. The next point I want to make is, I am struggling to understand why would Trizelle and Jacqueline have done something to the boys if they were bringing money in. Is it because they were the youngest and the couple was not very patient? Did something happen and one of them snapped in anger maybe? We know that Orrin and Orson are very close in age, 3 and 4, so their behavior would be pretty much the same in terms of, how kids are at that age, tantrums, screaming, shouting, crying and so on. It's hard enough as it is with one toddler, but 2, it can really be a real headache, plus 4 more children to tend to. I know, I only have 2 kids, and my 4-year-old takes up all my time, and he's only one toddler, and often he's so demanding and clingy, I feel like I can't breathe. So, having 2 children, potentially with the same behavior, can take its toll. Another great question here. Was the firewood story a cover for something else, such as, I don't know, burning potential evidence? Or perhaps masking the smell of cleaning the scene? We know they did clean the scene in a way. There were a lot of liquor bottles found in the bins before the police got there, so they must have, cleaned and sorted everything out before they even called the police, in my opinion. From the neighbor's footage, someone kept going in and out of the house through the front or the back, and you can see the lights switching on and off constantly. Were they really trying to, set up the scene? So it makes sense with their story. And another major red flag is the actual search of the children. So Trizelle and Jacqueline, they keep insisting that the police told them to stay indoors as they have the best people on the ground searching. So, like obedient parents as they are, go figure, they stay in the house throughout the search. As they both really like highlighting this, they were under order from the police not to participate in the search. I am really curious to know, what does the police have to say about this? I don't believe for a second the parents were somehow forced to stay inside and not search. It sounds ridiculous and unreal, and on top of all, highly unlikely. Even if the case would be for the police to contact them in the meantime, at least one of them could have joined the search, for their own kids, as they like emphasizing on that the kids are theirs, like some sort of possession or property. But what are they doing? I'll tell you what they are doing. They decide to chill indoors, relax, and let all the neighbors, police, and people all around the place searching in the cold whilst they warm their bums next to the fireplace as it goes. I don't think any parent with missing children would ever listen to the police and stay indoors. I also believe the police is there to advise, not to force you to stay indoors. Just as I'm saying it, it sounds unbelievable. And I also wonder, what do the other children know? What have they seen? Or were they scared off into saying anything? Or are they the ones being protected here? There's also something really odd about the biological mother, Ryan. This is a theory my husband actually pointed out to me. It seems that she has a GoFundMe page for attorney fees. I don't know exactly for what. She is very vague in the GoFundMe description. I'm also not sure if the police are looking into her. They might or maybe not. But what if, this is a valid point my husband was making, what if she got the kids back? Maybe she reached an agreement with the West family to hand Orrin and Orson back to Ryan, and they could keep getting those checks as payment for their silence. Ryan joined in the search for the children on the second day of their disappearance. Is it possible she will produce the children as a way of saying she found them? Lastly, I know a lot of you have been asking, why was the house boarded up, or by who? So, according to the same estate agent I mentioned earlier, Trizelle called her crying and saying no one is helping them find Orrin and Orson, and now their house is being vandalized and rocks are thrown in the windows. So the estate agent suggested to board the house, that she has a maintenance guy who can help. So she contacted the person and he went to Cal City and boarded the house from the outside. Other sources also mentioned the police did it. I'm not quite sure, it might be true, or perhaps the maintenance guys were working with the police on this, but I'm quite sure that at some point we'll definitely find out when more information will be released. Please, these are all my theories and opinions on this case. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and I would like to thank you so much for watching this video. Also, please, if you have any information that can lead to the location of Orrin and Orson and try to find out what happened, please contact the following agencies: the FBI, and the phone number is 310-477-6565, and this covers the Central District of California. You can also ring California City Police Department 760-373-8606. Bakersfield Police Department 661-327-7111. Please also make sure you share this video as much as you can. Maybe it will reach far and wide and someone who knows something will contact the authorities. For now, thank you all so much for watching. Please stay tuned. I'll be back with another video on this case very shortly. Take care and stay safe. Bye bye.